Today on Locked On Red Wings, quick thoughts on the DeBrincat introductory press conference and predicting the opening night lines.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. I'm a podcast producer for the daily JAWWJ News Radio podcast. Well, Scotty's host over at Locked On Tigers. And today's episode, guys, is brought to you by FanDuel, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. And today, guys, we're going to give you, I know it's a couple days old. Obviously, yesterday's episode that you listened to was recorded on Sunday, so the beginning was kind of outdated, but we had already recorded the whole episode. We weren't going to scrap it. So this is where we're going to get our opportunity to react to the press conference. Honestly, we're not going to give you a long reaction and a lot of thoughts because I don't think there's a lot of actual substance to take from these types of press conferences. Just cool seeing him introduced. Just some things that Yzerman said and DeBrincat said.
The only like real thing of note, I think of the entire thing was, I mean, it was just cool to hear him talk, obviously, and he wore the teal Pistons hat and like all that. Like that was all cool.
That was the most notable thing is he said he likes the teal.
Right, yeah.
Which he is objectively correct.
That's a dog right there, okay? If you like the teal, you're a dog, all right?
It's a generational
make that abundantly clear. But I think the only thing that really was kind of cool to hear was he was asked at one point, I forget who asked him, so that's my fault, but somebody had asked him directly, like, hey, you know, with this unfolding, like, were there other teams that were like interested, or like was there a legitimate chance for you going somewhere else? And he said that there definitely were other teams involved, but he wanted to be in Detroit the entire time, which like we kind of knew that already. I think everybody had made that kind of abundantly clear, but knowing that it wasn't really the Red Wings can just give whatever they want and just like get DeBrincat, there was confirmed a few other teams at least in the mix there. We heard Islanders and whatnot, but I don't know. That was really the only thing that I found kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what we already know is that he forced his way here in a way. Like he said, I want to go to Detroit and kind of put Ottawa in a corner, which helped us kind of fleece them in the end. People talk about how Yzerman fleeced them. I think DeBrincat is a huge part of the reason why the Red Wings fleeced. He
made it so public that he wasn't really trying to go anywhere else.
I mean, too, like that first round pick could become like a superstar. In 10 years, we revisit this and we're like, oh, I don't know anymore. But like as of right now, as it stands, Red Wings didn't give up a whole lot.
Though.
Yeah.
We're still going to have a first round pick in that same draft. I mean, then we could just talk about passing on whoever is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So then the other thing came out. He's going to wear number 93, which Red Wings, where's my jersey? Because the Red Wings made a social media post.
Jersey, bro.
The Red Wings made a social media post.
You're part of media now. You're not getting a jersey.
I am the media. The Red Wings made a social media post that said, if you can correctly guess DeBrincat's number, we'll pick a select few to get an autographed jersey. And I'm like one of three people, at least when I was scrolling, who legitimately predicted him wearing 93. I just went on Elite Prospects and looked at what jerseys he wore in his youth. And I don't know. Where's my DM?
You're not getting a lick of anything, brother. I hate to break it to you.
I'm not getting anything. It's not fair. Not fair. No, it's all good. I don't really care that much, but I did get excited for a second. I was like, oh, maybe. But also, yes, like you said, he basically forced his way here. Favorite player was Datsuk. Just standard, he really wanted to be here. Yzerman said some stuff too that I really liked, talking about how the Red Wings needed a goal scoring winger, and he fills that need, and he believes that DeBrincat is like one of the best goal scorers in the league right now. Really wished Zadina farewell, and I do honestly believe he thinks that. Who did, by the way, I don't think we said he signed a 1-year deal with the Sharks. I don't think we had the opportunity to say
we haven't talked about that since it happened.
But like anything else on the Yzerman side, like the DeBrincat stuff was all just bog standard stuff.
No, not really. That was pretty much it. It was just cool to see more than anything. I don't think there was really any great quotes in it, but it was just cool to like see it. I don't know, like it happened, like it's official.
He said that Yzerman said that he expects DeBrincat to play on the power play, which makes perfect sense given what his ability is. And he wasn't surprised that DeBrincat was available. So, and compared him to Hakan Lube and Mats Naslund. So, Hakan Lube. I mean, again, like it was really good to see, but it was all stuff that we feel like we've kind of covered and already knew in the past, introductory press conference stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So sorry if some of you guys feel like we didn't cover it enough, but I mean, you can go listen to the press conferences yourself. You don't need us to say what we think about what Yzerman thinks and what DeBrincat thinks. So there's been tons of stuff covering that. We'd rather do something more fun in this episode. And that is predict. Number 5 podcast for hockey in the country, by the way. We're going to predict the starting lines as they are right now. I had to do a little bit of finagling because we're going to use the cap-friendly model because they have an awesome tool where you can set your lines. They didn't have Veleno on there because he's still an RFA. I sent him to a 1 year, $950,000 deal, a little bit over his qualifying offer. I just did that to get him on there, guys. Don't take that too seriously if you notice it, but I wanted to point it out because I knew somebody would notice it. But yeah, we're going to do some line predicting. Let me get that background changed for this upcoming season because I tweeted it out earlier and people have critiqued me, and I think rightfully so. But yeah, I mean, Scotty, pretty simple premise. The Red Wings are going to have 13 NHL level forwards, 14 if you count Marco Kasper, and the Wings are going to have 7 defensemen, 8 if you count Edvinsson whenever he gets healthy, and we're going to try our best to try and predict starting lineups for the Detroit Red Wings. And Scotty, I'm going to defer to you first here, man. Top line forward, where are you going with him here? Let's try to work this out.
So like the conversation just comes down to right wing, right? Like obviously Larkin and DeBrincat are now going to be 1C and left wing.
Yes. And the problem is DeBrincat, I said it on the podcast the other day, and I even have it on my tweet, that I would put Perron on the top wing, but both Perron and DeBrincat, though being right-hand shots, tend to play on the off wing on the left. Yeah. So one of them would have to move to the right. And I don't know guys who have always been so much better on the left-hand side, why would I move either of those guys to the right? It's a tough trying to find your right wing is tough in this situation.
Where's Raymond on
he's
here?
He's all the way down here. I don't know why he's all the way down there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the RFA thing is weird. So I think, man, like I just default to Raymond then playing on the right side. It's a more natural fit. He's been playing with Larkin for a year and a half now anyway, 2 years now anyway. Like I just kind of default to that. I also think we talked about it on 2 days ago, I guess, show where that could really open up the ice for Raymond. You could have a lot of offensive production if Raymond got a little bigger in the offseason, takes a big step forward, and is now playing on a line with a guy who's put up 40 goals before. You know what I mean? Like that really could open up the ice for him. Larkin can just go into pure playmaking mode, which is, I think, when he's at his best anyway. I really like the optics of that. And I think that the Wings also have enough winger depth at full health to not necessarily need, quote unquote, Raymond to go down a line for production at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my problem with that is both Raymond and DeBrincat they don't play necessarily great defense. And so I would be afraid that line would get decimated at 5-on-5. And well, DeBrincat is actually he plays bigger than he is. We covered that. I would need somebody who can go in the corner and really dig that puck out, you know? And that's why I would want a Perron or a Rasmussen on the top line. And I don't know. It's tough because well, I'm just saying, I'm not necessarily saying Rasmussen.
I know.
But I don't know if I like the idea of DeBrincat and Raymond on the same line together. And also share the wealth. Put a guy like Raymond down on the second line, and that takes the pressure off him as well. I don't know, man. I said I'd defer to you, so whatever you think is best.
I mean, I agree. I don't think it's a slam dunk. I don't think there is an obvious answer on July 11th or 12th. I really don't. I think that's going to be one of the kind of, I don't know, carousels of this whole thing. But you have I don't know, like there's nothing that even says that you don't get really crazy and put like Andrew Kopp on the right wing. Like that's not like a completely albatross thing to throw out there. And you have center depth, like Rasmussen, if you need, can play center lower down if you were to do that. I mean, you have players that in theory could play like fourth line center and you wouldn't lose sleep over it. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird situation. I think I kind of default to Perron as it stands right now, but I still think that they're going to give a nice long look to Raymond early on, like when camp opens.
So you think that? So who are you? Who are you going to go
with Perron. I'm okay. I think that's probably if you like safest. Like if you were to ask me right now in July, like who's going to play the most games at first line right wing this season, I would probably default to Perron.
So we'll make Perron our off wing in this situation, just for a guy who's really good at puck possession and can protect the puck and dig the puck out of the corners. But we'll see. It's a tough situation with the Red Wings having,
yeah,
they have a lot of right-handers, but they all want to play on the left side. So we'll see how that turns out. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, probably speed it up a little bit. That was one line, but it'll get easier as we get more into the depth of things. But first, I got to talk to you guys today about Birddogs. Talked to you guys a lot lately about Birddogs, about how much I love them. And I'm going to give you the same spiel again because, I mean, they're peak. When it comes to shorts, they are like the best kind of shorts.
I'm wearing mine again now.
Are you really?
That's
show
so
us.
funny, dude.
Stand up and show us your butt.
I mean, like, no, but I'm trying to see if there's like is the bird dog like
pull your shorts up and show us the lining.
Yeah, right.
They're really comfortable, guys. You can wear them in any situation.
Like a logo, but I guess
you can wear them out on dates. You can wear them out on walks. You can wear them to the gym. I've done that, and you can wear them in the water. I've also done that, and the built-in liner makes them super comfortable and super cool, especially. So you guys cannot go wrong. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL or enter promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOn or promo code LockedOn for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you that. Segment 2, Locked On Red Wings podcast. We're trying to predict the starting lines for the upcoming season. And we're going to move on to forward line number 2. We ended up kind of sticking with the default here on Cap Friendly on line 1, DeBrincat, Larkin, forcing Perron to play off wing. I'm still not sold on that, but it's so tough to predict who's going to play right wing line 1 unless you expect like a huge jump in, like you maybe like, I don't know, like Robbie Fabry plays right wing sometimes, doesn't he? No, he plays left wing and center.
Left,
I don't. Yeah. That's tough. Because I like the idea of putting Kopp on that right wing, but also Kopp is like your 2C. Like you signed him to be your 2C, and I'm not sold on JT Compher as your 2C. Some people are. I think you said you'd like JT Compher.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
But I'd rather have Compher play 3C and just have that added depth because I'm not sold on Veleno as center. And then that opens up a door for Casper to start getting NHL reps.
Yeah.
This is tough, man. This is where I would definitely put Lucas Raymond on line 2 with Andrew Kopp. I think Andrew Kopp being another two-way center would do well with Lucas Raymond, helping take some of the pressure off, but also they could feed on one another. The left wing is where I think it gets tough. I mean, are you going to make a case for JT Compher at 2C? I mean, is that who you think is going to be the guy?
I'm not like hard pressed, like it's definitely going to be Compher. If I was doing these alone, I would default to Compher at 2C, but I also have zero issue with the concept of Andrew Kopp as the second line center. And like, I was the big Andrew Kopp defender in the last 3 months of the regular season. You know what I mean? Like I'm totally down with that. I have no issue at all.
Yeah. I mean, JT Compher is going to probably play power play, although he's really good. Doesn't matter. We're not doing power play right now. We're just doing 5-on-5 lineup. I mean, if it's okay with you, I'm going to keep Kopp as 2C.
Yeah, totally fine with it.
But then your left wing, who does that become?
Why would it not be Robbie Fabry?
I have doubts about his health, but
okay.
Is that fair? Is that a fair criticism?
No, I think it's a very fair criticism, but are we doing like opening night lines? Or are we doing
opening night lines?
Okay. On opening night, I'm fairly confident Robbie Fabry is going to be. And is he hurt right now?
He was
Am I
hurt at the end of the
forgetting?
season, but they said he'd be healthy come start of the season.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right. So
I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard or seen anything that would lead me to believe that Robbie Fabry isn't going to be healthy by camp, nonetheless, by opening night.
yeah. I think that's fine. So we go Fabry, Kopp, Raymond as your second line.
Yeah.
And then so Comfer becomes your 3C. Now here's because if you have Casper play, I don't want him getting fourth line minutes. So is Casper making the opening night lineup? Is he going to be healthy? Let's double check on that. I want to make sure he's going to be healthy for opening night.
I don't even care if he's healthy. I'm going to go with no.
Okay.
I think you brought in way too many people this offseason to guarantee, I guess I'll say, Casper a spot. Obviously, if he balls out, he balls out. Play trumps everything, right? Performance trumps all. So like if he goes into camp in preseason and he looks like one of the 9 or 12 best forwards on this team, then he's going to be in the lineup. But like in July, no, I think you improved your depth so substantially that you do not have to, or I guess need to, pencil Marco Casper into the forward group currently.
So we'll stick with JT Comfer at center. I think
that's a lock.
I think Daniel Sprong at right wing makes a lot of sense. Right-handed winger,
I agree,
20 goals. You think he can?
I think left third is where it starts getting interesting on that side.
I'll be honest, Michael Rasmussen.
Yeah, see, I'm fine with it.
He was so good last year. He had such a breakout year, man. It is pouring all of a sudden outside.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna ask if you can hear the thunder. It's thundering like crazy.
Oh, I don't have any thunder. It's just the rain right now.
Yeah, see, I have the thunder. It might be coming through my mic at some point. It's very loud.
But yeah, so third line, Comfer, Daniel Sprong, and Michael Rasmussen.
Yeah, I'm totally chill with that.
And then your fourth line, here's where you're going to get your extra. Because you have Klim Kostin, Joe Veleno, Christian Fischer, and Jonathan Berggren left here. I mean, Berggren's got to get ice time. I mean,
Berggren over
Fischer.
Sure. I think Fischer was
Berggren's
signed
a righty, right?
to be I think Fischer was signed to be
No, he's a lefty. Does Berggren play off wing? I can't remember. Oh, such a bad Red Wings fan.
Well, I mean, he got reps at both. I thought he was right more often than left.
Because he can play either. I'm not sure.
He certainly got reps at both throughout the season just because of all the, mixing
and Christian Fischer's a righty. Klim Kostin's
Fischer, I think Fischer was brought in to be the 13th forward. I think that was
at $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's an external addition. He's not an RFA. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. He's a PK specialist, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did get more ice time than that. But, I mean, let's look here. I mean, he played 80 games this last year, but this is the first year he played.
Unless you're putting him at center, the 1.1 mil is not
this is
Berggren's an RFA and Kim's making 2 mil. So he's, you know what I mean? He's 1.1 unless he's playing center, that doesn't really matter.
I mean, and some people, I have had friends tell me that Christian Fischer is center, and I am not completely, after the last 2 seasons with Joe Veleno, I'm not 100% sold on him as a viable center.
Yeah, I mean, I made it very clear that I needed to see a big step forward from Veleno this year. I'm with that. I'm okay with making Veleno the 13th skater on opening night, to be honest. I have no issue with that even.
So, this is tough, man. This is real tough.
It is tough.
Because, and to be honest, I haven't seen enough of Klim Kostin or Christian Fischer to make a determination one way or another with any type of certainty. But, I mean, I'm okay with this fourth line. I'd have to see what other people are thinking. And obviously what happens on opening night. But, I mean, as it stands right now, how do you feel about these 4 lines, man?
I mean, I like them. I think the biggest thing for me is that we're trying to predict opening lines in the first half of July, so that's already we're a little bit crazy, but it's also important to note that I think there is so much versatility with these, and obviously injuries will happen, but there's so much versatility I think with this group that we have this year, that you're gonna see a lot of mixing and matching. I know it's fun to predict lines. That's literally what we're doing. That's going to be, opening night lines are important because that's the presumed, at full health, what are you rolling out there kind of thing. But I mean, genuinely, I think that we're going to see a billion different line combinations throughout the season. I think they're probably going to be some sort of a revolving door at right wing top line. I think that they're going to try and see who fits best and throw a few different names out there. It wouldn't be surprising to me if Kopp did get look at wing at some point.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if I mean, like Fisher, it wouldn't shock me if Christian Fisher ended up playing 70 games, like at all. You know what I mean? Like Rasmussen's probably going to get a look at 4C at some point. I can almost guarantee you that. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I think we can try and pin them down all we want because that's, like partially our job and it's a fun thing to do. But
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't
think
be surprised if this happens at some point too.
Yeah, sure.
Berggren gets dropped into the top 6 because he showed flashes of it last year.
Yeah, and performance, like I said, performance trumps all, man. If the first, between camp, preseason, and the first month of the regular season, if somebody's balling out, then like they're gonna make that change. We saw it, last year with the blue line, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a second if you want to. But like we saw it like firsthand with Wallman. Like Wallman went from a bottom 4 defender, third pair at one point, to from January till the end of the season was top pair, and everybody unanimously agreed he should be.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll do the defense and the goalies real quick. So stay tuned to Locked On Red Wings. Segment 3, Locked On Red Wings podcast. All right, Scotty, let's do the defense. Guys, we know that there's a lot of versatility and variation that could happen in those offensive lines. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, please don't murder us if you disagree with us, because let's be honest, we don't know what the hell we're talking about either.
Well,
we're trying to make
again,
our
like
best guesses.
There's just like no point in like getting like red in the face mad about it, because like whatever, if you're like, oh, like so-and-so's going to play, first line right wing, it's this guy. You're probably right. At some point, he probably will. Like, we're not going to, outside of DeBrincat and Larkin, I don't think anyone on this team is going to play like, 70 plus games at the same position, at the same spot in the lineup the entire season.
Yeah. So let's move on to defense here. I don't know what kind of default
I don't know what the heck's going on here.
This is really easy for pair 1. I don't think there has to be much of a discussion. Seider and Wallman, they had such good chemistry last year. At one point, they led the league in expected goals against 6 minutes. So keep the good times rolling, in my opinion. Here's the next question. The real start to the conversation. Justin Hall and Ben Sherratt. You don't want those guys together.
No.
So what do you do here?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been pretty vocal about where I stand on second pair. I think for me, this is Ghost is my right side 2, and Mata is my left side 2.
Really? Okay.
And then that is my third pair.
So you would keep Hall and Sherratt together just on a third pair with less minutes?
I think so. I mean, I don't really know how else to
because
like navigate your way around that.
You need somebody who is gonna play really well defensively.
Oh, you know what? No. Ghost can play both. Put Ghost at left 2, Hall at right 2, Sherratt at right 3.
I can get behind that a little bit more.
I think that's the one that I was tweeting out late last week, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the only catch on that one is Gostisbehere has had 50% deployment on right, and I know Sherratt has had a lot less. So Gostisbehere is more accustomed, acclimated to playing on the right side. But I don't hate that for them. I don't hate that, because I don't want Hall and Sherratt to necessarily play together, because they kind of fill the same role, and Olli Mata would hopefully be able to cover some of Ben Sherratt's hiccups on the bottom. It just becomes, because I do like the idea of Gostisbehere and Mata together too. So, but if you put those two together,
and again, I think same conversation with the blue line, man. I think Ghost is absolutely going to play both sides, like at some point. Like we get a pretty decent look at both sides this season. And yeah, Mata, I don't think Mata is going to stay in the second or the third pair like we have it here for the entire season either. I think there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching in the bottom 4 defensively a lot. And then the only locks are really, for me, the top pair and then 7th D-man.
Yeah, and then obviously Gustav Lindstrom stays locked there at 7th D. I didn't think he'd be coming back. And then goaltending, pretty simple.
Yeah,
Billy Husso, James Reimer.
Pretty easy. Yeah, pretty easy. Husso's going to be one. Reimer's going to be the backup.
Yeah, and before we get you guys commenting, no Simon Edvinsson on here because he's going to start the season injured. He's not going to be back till November. We're looking at opening night lineup for the Detroit Red Wings. So, I mean, that is our lineup.
Well, and I guess we can have, a similar, we can just kind of clump in the Edvinsson conversation and the Kasper conversation. Like, I don't think either of them are there on opening night. You just mentioned Edvinsson, but I don't think Kasper's there on opening night either. When and if they are inserted this year, then, what happens then?
Somebody, that's going to be, I can't even predict it, man. I can't even predict it because that's just, I mean, Compher can play right wing. I like the idea of Compher moving over to wing. You have Kasper slide in at 3C because I don't want him playing 4C minutes. And Compher playing right wing also kind of solves your issue at right wing.
Are you married to the idea of Kasper will play center when he's called up?
I think so. That you drafted him to be your 2C. I think he has to play center.
I agree with you. I know that some people have floated off maybe when he first gets called up, you try him at wing and then you can move him to center later down the road kind of a thing. But I think the reason they got all this forward depth is because they are not going to call him up until they are confident he is center ready at the NHL level.
I mean, for fun, we did our lineup there. Let's drop Kasper into the lineup and let's drop Edvinsson into the lineup because we would think that at some point they would make. I would think at some point they would pop up into the lineup, right? So then you try to reorganize the roster. So I would probably move Compher to right wing, top line with Larkin and DeBrincat.
I think they put
here.
No. See, I think if either Compher or Kopp are going to play right wing first line, it's going to be Copper.
Okay, we'll do Kopp. And then that lets Perron go back to his off wing.
Right. Raymond's going to be right 2.
Right 2.
Kasper's going to be 3C. Fabry's still going to be left 3. So, yeah, I guess Sprong becomes right.
Yeah, Sprong.
That gets tricky, man. And depth is a good problem. And Kasper's, I don't think, going to be on the opening night lineup. So this isn't a bad thing, but
I do like that. That looks good. I hate seeing Berggren on the 4th line, but I just genuinely right now, he showed so many flashes of being he could play top line.
Well, he could the performance based between him and Sprong. I don't think that's a big deal. If
I could see Berggren and Rasmussen both leapfrogging into the 3rd line, and I like that a lot.
Yeah. Even how about this? How about I know he's going to, you don't want to see him get 4th line minutes, but I think there's even a possibility that Rasmussen's the 4C at some point.
Yeah, some people.
Fabry's 3 wing.
I got sold on him at wing this last season.
Veleno's riding 13 while Klim is, 4, or Fisher for that matter, either one. But I think that's a real possibility at some point too. And then defensively, I think you're in a position now where you don't have to overexpose Edvinsson. So I think he pretty easily just slides into the third pair there, which kind of sucks for Oli Mata's sake. But
yeah, and I'm this is going to be a hot take, but I like the idea of him playing with Ben Sherratt to start. Just because Ben Sherratt is the guy who's going to, not that Edvinsson needs protecting. They proved that last year.
Were pretty decent at times together last season. They played together.
But Ben Sherratt's his job is going to be to look out for Simon Edvinsson, physically and protect him. Not that Edvinsson needs it. He proved that. But I like that having that mentor role. And I think Mata sliding out of the lineup is fine. Stuff. But we're just talking hypotheticals. These guys aren't going to be in the lineup
Yeah,
on
this is
opening
also
night,
like a
probably.
mid-season thing where I'm sure someone is hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're not
So
going to be
somebody's
fully
not going to be in the
healthy.
conversation regardless.
Yeah, we're not going to be fully healthy in, December, January, February when these dudes get the call.
So before we sign off, just for people's sanities, let's go over our lineup one last time so people know what we chose. For the listeners out there who aren't watching on YouTube and can't physically see it, line 1, we chose Alex DeBrincat, Dylan Larkin, David Prawn playing on, well, technically his correct wing, but he normally plays off wing. He's playing the right wing. Then you have line 2 centered by Andrew Kopp with Fabry on left wing, Lucas Raymond on right wing. Third line, JT Compher center, Rasmussen left wing, Jonathan Berggren right wing. Or I'm sorry, I got to fix that. Daniel Sprong right
Yeah,
wing.
there you go.
Your fourth line is Joe Veleno at center, Klim Kostin on left wing, Jonathan Berggren on right wing with Christian Fischer as your 13th forward. And then on defense, you have Wallman and Sider as D pair 1, Goes to Spare on the left, Hall on the right for pair 2, Oli Mata on the left, Ben Sherrod on the right for pair 3, Lundstrom being your extra, Husso being your 1A, and Reimer being your 1B in net. So yeah, that's basically how we're going to break it down here, guys. Again, let us know what you think. Let us know what your lines are, why or why not you think we're stupid or smart. And again, it's really tough to predict these lines. There's so much matchmaking that could go on. So many players who could play on either wing, who could play center. Same with the defensive pairs. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have a new episode for you guys tomorrow, probably getting back to our free agent breakdowns. Might maybe cover the goalies, maybe Daniel Sprong. We'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, we still got plenty, honestly, of new free agents to do deep dives on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be back on Thursday with a new episode. Stay tuned. Any final thoughts, Scotty?
We ball.
Same time, same place. Your team every day.
Every day.